So, hello everybody. It's wonderful to see so many citizen scientists and nature enthusiasts here today. I'm Anukriti. I'm the project coordinator for the Asia Nature Challenge, and I'm also the host for today's session. So, let me begin by highlighting that the data that is collected on platforms like iNaturalist, it plays a vital role in global biodiversity research. So, your observations and your contributions, they truly make a difference. With this in mind, today's session will focus on how each of you can contribute effectively, especially as we prepare for the Asia Nature Challenge, which is just 2 days away. For this session, we are honored to have Dr. Vijay with us. He's an independent researcher specializing in biodiversity informatics and citizen science. He is also a GBIF Asia support team member. Dr. Vijay will introduce iNaturalist, and he'll also explain how your contributions are integrated into global databases like GBIF, helping advance research and conservation efforts worldwide. He'll also discuss the importance of data quality. This is what participants like you and citizen scientists in general need to keep in mind to ensure how their observations are valuable and scientifically useful. This session will also, of course, help you understand the nitty-gritties of iNaturalist and how to make a real difference in biodiversity conservation through your participation as a citizen scientist. Dr. Vijay, it's truly a pleasure to have you with us. We're ready to absorb all the knowledge that this session has in store. Please.
Thank you, Akriti. I just want to make sure once that I'm audible properly. And I will start sharing my screen. My screen is visible? All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and get started. First, I'll very briefly introduce myself in the way of iNaturalist. Like, why am I talking about iNaturalist here? Just to give you an idea of a little background. So I have background in computer science and geography. That's what I have studied formally. I'm a nature lover since childhood. I started with birding, then got more interested into butterflies and invertebrates. I've been a volunteer curator with iNaturalist for a number of years. So helping iNaturalist improve the content is what volunteer curators do. I've been coordinating Diversity India, a network of biodiversity enthusiasts across not only India, but across South Asia. We have membership from Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan, Bhutan, etc. So that's what I've been doing, and my iNaturalist username is just my first name and last name, Vijay Barve. So first of all, before I start, I want to acknowledge organizers of this workshop for inviting me and letting me share some of my thoughts. Also, one of my friends, Cassie, who lent me a lot of slides which she had painstakingly created about iNaturalist. And obviously numerous biodiversity enthusiastic users who have been a big help in learning and identification of whatever data I've been trying to curate on iNaturalist. So about iNaturalist, it started actually as a master's project in 2008 by Ken Ichiuda, and his advisor was Scott Laurie. It became a joint project of California Academy of Science and National Geographic, which they run for a number of years. And then very recently, iNaturalist has become a kind of independent non-profit organization to run the whole infrastructure. iNaturalist is completely free and open source, so the source code is available, and the data can be used by anyone using API or application programmer interface. So you can build small applications using the backend iNaturalist data, and it is very actively developed. So what exactly it is? So it's actually a social network where people interested in sharing biodiversity information to help, and also to help each other learn. And then it's also a crowdsource kind of species identification system where uh, an organism occurrence is kind of recorded and then subsequently curated. iNaturalist is available as a cell phone app as well as a website. And what we say is it's for the nature nerds. So who's really interested in biodiversity, exploring nature, it's a very good tool. So why do I started using and why do I use iNaturalist? So basically, uh, first and foremost, I get satisfaction of contributing to a global database or community science or citizen science. So this is my small contribution to this big global effort. I get a lot of help with identifications. I know very few things. I know a little bit of birds and a little bit of butterflies, but otherwise, I am not that good identifying a lot of insects and other things. So I get a lot of help in identification. It helps me build a personal life list. So as you can see on the screen, it immediately shows me that so far I have documented 2,740 species on using iNaturalist. So that's the kind of advantage I have, that personal life list building. I can also explore how many birds, how many butterflies, how many birds in India, how many butterflies in Costa Rica, or whatever I want to look at it. I get to learn a lot more about species once I observe a species. I have a whole encyclopedic information available, which I can just click on iNaturalist pages and can look at it. And I can also help others identify whatever little birds and butterflies I know. I keep identifying, help identifying for different users. And I personally, definitely, being a person familiar with biodiversity, data biodiversity informatics, I volunteer to help improve the data quality overall in iNaturalist with different activities. And obviously, I personally use this data for my research. So, have you used iNaturalist? Like, is everyone here aware of iNaturalist? I suppose yes. If some of you are not, not a problem. I'm definitely going to cover some basics quickly. So, how iNaturalist works? It's very simple. It starts with recording your observation. So, example, you see a particular you see a caterpillar. You have your cell phone. You take a picture. It's a beautiful caterpillar. You want to share it with your friends and fellow naturalists. But rather than just posting it on Facebook or Flickr or WhatsApp, you post it on iNaturalist. The moment you post it on iNaturalist, all your fellow iNaturalists across the world are able to see that. And then once they see the particular record, they start discussing about your finding and then say, okay, this caterpillar looks like this particular moth or a butterfly. They will discuss, they will help you basically identify that to whatever level it could be identified using the photograph. We also always have to remember that everything cannot be identified using photographs. Sometimes you need more information, what plant it is on, where it was found, where, or all the features that can be seen. And even with that, some closely related species cannot be identified. So if you don't get identification all the way up to species level, we don't have to worry. At whatever level it is, it's good for us. So what is iNaturalist used for? There are different things. One is just to explore nature. You're out in the forest. You want to look at nature. You want to document it, store it. So that's one thing that you can do. You can document it because you are taking pictures. You can always um, put more details and share it with the world, and you then publish it on for everyone, where people can, as I was saying, can share their comments, share their identifications, and finally, you can also help it to identify, curate, learn about it, provide information. So these are the three or four very uh, important and commonly done tasks with iNaturalist. So for when it comes to identification, a few things to keep in mind with perspective of learning and data quality. So when you're posting, you don't really have to know which species you are adding. When you're adding observation, you can just add an observation and you can give a broad level ID. You say, oh, okay, this looks like a butterfly. You can just write butterfly, or you can just write insect, or even you can leave it blank. But I will recommend, if you know a broad ID, provide it. That helps in quicker identification. Then you can use the automated image recognition, but don't have to select or go for it unless you are comfortable with it. So that we have to keep in mind, rather than just blindly giving the identifications. And then the community will add different identifications with each other's observation and discuss. People provide links to different pages. People provide links to more documentation and things like that. And then this community ID system, if you are not comfortable, you can also opt out of that, so that people can provide you IDs, but they will not reflect in your final list. And when you are posting on iNaturalist, there are three different kind of scales. So once you post a record, it's a casual grade. You need to provide some basic ID, and you also need to provide date, place, and a photograph or a sound recording to make it complete. And then from there, it then becomes a needs ID record till the community verifies it, in the sense at least um, two or more identifications at species level is what research grade is, and there is no one else who's kind of saying no, it's wrong. So uh, that creates a research grade record, and then I will talk more about what happens with the research grade later. But this is basically the whole identification curation part, which is also very important in the perspective of data quality further down the line. And we are repeatedly saying data quality, data quality. You might just think, why do I need to bother? I'm just using it to enjoy nature. But you will also learn why data quality is very important, because there are a lot of downstream uses for this kind of data, and they are very crucial. So just to kind of recap, uh, what iNaturalist does, or what iNaturalist is used for, is basically bringing nature at your fingertip. You can keep track of what you are seeing. You can crowdsource the identification, get help from experts globally. You can learn about nature. As I was saying, you can click on different pages to learn about species or different groups of animals. And then in this process, you are helping to create very useful data, which scientists very routinely keep using. And in short, you basically become a citizen scientist or a community scientist, whatever term you like to use. And this is also a really good tool to run what we call as BioBliss. BioBliss is nothing but trying to document diversity of a particular region in a stipulated time. So, excellent example of BioBliss is what we are going to do this weekend. The Asia Nature Challenge is a BioBliss, where we are going to uh, document nature around us in those days across Asia. This is slightly dated slide, but this just shows basically the amount of data that has been coming from across the geographies on iNaturalist. And this is a kind of growth iNaturalist has been seeing. Actually, this is again 3-4 years old, but the graph is still growing very rapidly. And this is a quick animation one of my friends has put for one state in United States of the data is kind of filling up since 2011. We should create such for Asia. So what are the learning opportunities on iNaturalist? So as I said, it's a community of expert amateurs as well as professionals. Um, we have automated species identification or what we call as computer vision built in into iNaturalist, which helps to give some hints about what that particular organism could be. It's a very good starting point in most cases. You can record your notes about identification, not just identification. You can always write why you think this particular uh, plant or animal is such and such. You can try to describe character. Oh, because I see the flowers are yellow, and because I see there are 5 petals or whatever characters you like to describe. Uh, you can also keep a nature journal, and which you can make in some sense public, so that you can write about what you have seen about a time or a place or whatever uh, things you observe in the field, and you can publish it as a journal entry, which is also very similar to a blog entry, but it is within the iNaturalist system where you can tag different iNaturalist people or places. And then finally, it becomes a database of verified images, which is like available for comparison. So typically, most of the research grade records, you can look at them and see different images of a particular organism you are trying to study and learn about it. So, and then you can also look at like different stages of flowers or insects or animals, how they look, difference between male and female, difference between larva and adult insect and things like that. So this is what iNaturalist is being used for different kind of learning. Uh, so what is a observation record? The basic unit of iNaturalist is observation record, which is a individual organism recorded by someone at a particular time and a location. So that's the very basic, and that's also sometimes referred as a primary biodiversity record. And this is very quick screenshot of how computer vision works. So you upload a plant or an animal, and you click on the species name. It will give you different options that will give you some idea of what this particular plant or animal could be. And then identification, as I was saying, there are a lot of experts who keep helping, and there are a lot of amateurs who keep helping. And you post and you say, okay, the original person when she posted, she said, okay, this looks like a caterpillar of a butterfly or a moth. And then someone comes and says, oh, I'm pretty sure this is of this particular super family. And then someone says, yeah, but this is actually a tiger moth of this particular tribe. And then someone else who's expert actually says, yeah, I know this group very well, and this particular caterpillar is from this particular genus. So that's how the identifications keep improving. So here is an example of uh, uh, um, record being posted, and again, the person who posted was just familiar with the family, but then there are two other people who came forward and provided detailed IDs, and this is basically these two people. If you look at their profile, they are actually uh, botanists or scientists from famous national institutions. So this is the kind of access you get. You don't have to know them personally. You just post a record, and there are experts who are willing to jump in and help you. And as I was mentioning earlier, there are a lot of discussions happening on iNaturalist, and when you post something, and if someone doesn't agree to that, then that person will come in and sometimes write a comment saying, okay, why I feel this particular plant versus some other plant. So it's actually giving different species and why, what are their details. So sometimes people do take time to write detailed comments on your iNaturalist records also. And as I was saying, it's an excellent social network. You can follow different people, and different people can follow you, and then you can also see what what they are posting. So you can follow your friends and see where your friends have been recently and what kind of plants or animals they have been observing or recording on iNaturalist. So that's the social networking part of iNaturalist. And then, as I mentioned, it helps you build your life list, how many observations you have, how many species you have, and then you can splice and dice this using different groups. You can say, show me only butterflies, show me only butterflies of this family or genus, show me only butterflies of this region. I just want to see butterflies of Uttar Pradesh, what I have observed, or butterflies of just one district. So all these things or filtering can be done, and you can explore your own recording. So for those, I mean, most of the people are actually familiar with iNaturalist and use, but I'm going to very quickly show how I use iNaturalist website basically to record the um, uh, to upload my photographs and convert them into iNaturalist records. So this is a recorded video. I will just give a little bit of commentary. Um, basically, uh, you have a drag and drop facility where you can open the interface and select multiple images from your hard drive and just copy it. So what I do typically is before I get them into iNaturalist, I tend to select and resize them and make a set ready. And then you can select these images and then merge them. That I have like multiple pictures of the same individual. I would like to kind of combine them all together and put it into a single record. So the example is these four photographs are for the same butterfly. So I'm going to select them all and then merge them into single record. Similarly, I will do it for the other uh, records. So yeah, this is how you basically merge those records and then start putting more information like location of this particular record. You basically click on location tab and you can zoom in or zoom out. You can use all the keys to go find a particular location, or you also have a search box where you can go and type a location and then you can basically zoom in quickly there, and then uh, you can always refine what kind of uh, location, like you want to pinpoint how much confident you are about the location. You can zoom in or zoom out and draw this circle. So that is the thing. And then finally, what you can also do is uh, provide identifications. And as I was repeatedly saying, you don't have to provide identifications at the finest level. If you are not familiar, you can just leave it at a genus level, family level, or a broad group level, saying this is a butterfly, this is a moth, or sometimes difficult to identify group, you can say, okay, this is of this particular genus. So that is how you can basically make sure to assign something in most cases, because once you have some ID, people looking at that will uh, interested in that particular group will start looking. Like once you say butterfly, there are a bunch of butterfly lovers who will start looking at your record and start refining your IDs. So once this is done, you can click on submit observations. It will basically upload the images, and then it will take you to the interface where the observations are seen. Then you can click on every individual observation, look at it, and decide if you want to make any changes, provide any more information about it. So that is how it is done. You can also, if you are really interested, you can look at what projects it has become part of it. iNaturalist has this whole section on projects where you can um, join different projects and also contribute to that. And you can also add some more information, like whether this is a adult or a larva or a pupa, whatever it is. So these details are useful. Yeah, so I will also quickly show another video of doing the same thing using iNaturalist app. I don't know whether I should actually um, run the whole video because it's very similar. iNaturalist has app for Android as well as mm, Apple phones also. And once you open, it gives a similar interface. And there is yeah, you can use the add record button to add records. You can either take photo online or choose images. I prefer to choose images from taken already by phone, because that's much easier rather than trying to do the record. So here I have a couple of records of a particular mushroom. I'm going to select that. So it will take a moment for iNaturalist app to load it. But if you see now, it has automatically taken the date from the photo. I have not enabled location tracking with my photos. So it hasn't taken the location, but if location tracking is on, location of the photo also can be taken. But it's very simple to get the current location of you just by using the crosshair. And then now on the map, you can kind of refine your location, decide where exactly you have taken that picture, and then click on the tick mark sign to kind of finalize it. And now it has taken the location of this particular photograph. Again, like website, go on the identification and try to give a broad level identification. If you are familiar with that particular organism, you can select. Otherwise, you can just type in. So I don't know much about fungus, so I'm just going to select fungus using including lichens as a very broad group and just leave it at that. Rather than just leaving it blank, I prefer to do that so that all the people interested in fungus would get to see this and start kind of providing me IDs. And finally, you click upload button to upload it. Basically, iNaturalist app has an option to disable automatic synchronization. I strongly recommend you to do that because many times when you are creating the records, you may not have the good connectivity. So it's better to synchronize it when you are in good connectivity, when you are connected to broadband or a good Wi-Fi, because uploading images takes time. Yeah, so this is the option to basically disable automatic upload so that it is not causing problem of incomplete records being uploaded. So I think this is briefly about uh, iNaturalist uploading using websites uh, and the app. Maybe I think I will pause here for a couple of minutes, and if there are any pressing questions, we can take care of that, and then we can move forward. There seem to be a lot of chat, so maybe Ram or someone, do you think I need to address any specific questions? Any of the organizers, please let me know.
Yeah, I mean, any of the participants, if you have questions, you can ask now. I don't think there was any specific question in the chat section. Most of the questions are already addressed by others who are here.
Okay, perfect. So maybe I can move forward. I'll finish the presentation, then we'll have some time for questions.
Sure.
Okay, so the most important question now. Okay, I've been doing this. I'm putting all these records on iNaturalist. What happens next? I mean, why should I meticulously do this? I have listed so many reasons. You get to learn, you get to keep your life list and all, but there are also certain points in some sense for greater good that that we can uh, contribute to. So uh, basically, all the iNaturalist records, those are research grade, are passed forward to different uh, other networks or websites, and one of the most important one is the Global Biodiversity Information Facility. So what is Global Biodiversity Information Facility? It is a international network. It is a data infrastructure which is funded by different governments. And then the whole mandate or the aim of this infrastructure is to provide free access, free open access to the data of all the life on Earth to anyone and anywhere. So it's basically making everything available in open access. That's the whole mandate. So what does GBIF have currently? GBIF is active for almost 25 years now, and have built a, a big data set. We are looking at about more than 3 billion records of species occurrences in GBIF. There are So iNaturalist is one, eBird is one. Like that, there are 2,200 publishers who are publishing the data. And there are 43 different organizational participants like IUCN. There are 64 country participants who are actually financially contributing to running of GBIF. There are already more than 100,000 data sets. GBIF also creates something called as hosted portals. And the most important part is about 201 billion records are downloaded per month from GBIF. So we have 3 billion records. So people don't download the whole data. You download specifics, you download butterflies of India, or you download birds of Sri Lanka, or you download plants of Bhutan, whatever you are interested in. So looking on average, so many times this data is downloaded. And not only that, but it is also being cited in more than 10,000 peer-reviewed papers. So that's the power. That's most important part here of contributing to iNaturalist is this data is being used in downstream research a lot. So here is like different countries which are publishing or contributing to the data, and these are kind of the number of institutions from these, and 142 countries have been already publishing some data or the other. There are contributions from that many countries. And then to look at where all this data is being used, what are the different usage. So two very important usage, one is research, other is in policy, to take policy decisions. So there are, in research, when you look at it, where it is being used, it is used by, in ecology and evolution, it is used in climate change science, it is used for human health, it is used to learn invasive species, which has a lot of economic implications or livelihood implications. It is used for conservation, it is used for food security. And on the cusp of policy and research, it's also used by so many different organizations. You can IUCN, or the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, Convention of Biodiversity, Biological Diversity, uh, World Health Organization, IPCC, all these organizations also use all these data from GBIF routinely. And this data of the whole GBIF data, iNaturalist is certainly a very important part, because iNaturalist now, I think as of now, it contributes to more than 100 million records across the world. So that's the kind of usage that just your simple record of a plant or animal that you see in your backyard or on your routine morning or evening walk, you take a picture and upload. It becomes part of this 3 billion record data set, and can has a potential of being used in so many different ways. And now just looking at only iNaturalist data, where and how much it is being used. So there are, sorry, uh, iNaturalist data, as I was saying, it's already, there are close to 100 million occurrences that iNaturalist has shared. And over the years, there are more than 5,000 research papers or reports that have used data coming from iNaturalist and sorted. And if you see, it has been downloaded so many times. It has been downloaded over a million times. Some part of iNaturalist data. It may not be every record every time, but some part of iNaturalist data is downloaded and used for some downstream research. So that's the importance of iNaturalist data being used through GBIF. So now coming to the point of how can we improve the quality of our data. There are some really simple things that we should follow. So one thing we always tell that when you are posting on iNaturalist, you should avoid three P's. So what you should avoid posting is people, pets, and potted plants. Yes, all these three are part of biodiversity, but they have different implications if you share. Sharing people is definitely a concern of privacy, and we do not really need to know the distribution of humans on the face of Earth. It is already really well documented. So never post photographs of people. Pets are typically not in their location. So what we are trying to do is record everything that is occurring on its own. So natural or kind of so captured or pets are not a good idea to post. And also potted plants, because when you have potted plants, they are typically outside their habitat. So avoid posting people, pets, and potted plants. When it comes to the identification part, one very important thing is never accept a identification blindly unless you are aware of it. Otherwise, have patience. Just leave it as need ID. Someone has provided you ID. Just wait for someone else to do it. If you are not, if you wait for some time and no one else is coming to identify, what I do is I copy the link of that particular iNaturalist record and then share it on different social media. There are different WhatsApp group which help you refine your identifications on iNaturalist. You can post it on Twitter or Facebook and just say, look, I have this record and I request experts to provide me identification, and then people come forward and do it. So that's one very important thing, that do not just accept any identification blindly. Let someone else come and help you to confirm that. Now, a few more tips that we have learned over time. So, for taking good pictures, sometimes just using hand in the background is very helpful. It immediately kind of shows characters of the plant or the animal. You can also use a background sheet of paper or cloth to do it. Uh, try try taking different angles to capture different features. Um, Try to scale the image using actual scale or a coin or a pen. Uh, there is macro mode in most of the phone cameras or cameras. Try to use that when you are taking smaller plants or animals. And make sure to crop the images to highlight the characters when you are posting. Also post multiple images so that you have a full organism. You can just focus on just head part of the organism or a particular character of it so that it shows the details. So these are some uh, tips to take better identifiable photographs. Take a lot of pictures in multiple angles. You can see different characters in different angles. If you see the last picture shows like uh, the wings a little bit. First picture shows how the legs are. Um, so different, take multiple pictures and upload it as a same record so that it is much uh, helpful for people who are trying to identify looking at different characters. How to get more help? iNaturalist has a really good, well-developed help page. Um, you can ask on iNaturalist forum. There is forum.inaturalist.org where you can ask, okay, I want to do this or this thing. How do I do it? Or if you go on forum, most of your questions are already answered. They also have a general support email ID. And there are also a lot of communities on Facebook and WhatsApp and different places which are willing to help you with technical challenges using iNaturalist. Or you can always contact me. I will list my email address and WhatsApp number at the end of the presentation. So finally, kind of putting it in a very nutshell, while using iNaturalist, uh, what I have learned, observe what is interesting to you, observe everything. Don't only use iNaturalist app, even though you are using to post it. Go use a website. There are a lot of features on website also to explore and learn from. Don't be afraid to ask questions on the forum or to the people or to whoever iNaturalist users you know. I have seen most of the iNaturalist users are coming forward and help you. And don't be really shy to make ID mistakes. But if you make an ID mistake and someone corrects it, take it in a positive spirit and go and either retract your ID and correct it. Don't just make some ID and just disappear from an HList, because that then creates problem for other users to go back and fix it. So I think that's all. Enjoy iNaturalist, enjoy the Asia Nature Challenge, contribute a lot of data, and then we will obviously try to uh, help you identify as much as possible. That's it. I think we can open for questions.
Yeah. Anukriti, are there any questions from audiences?
So I do see
Hello.
one question. Yes, please. If anyone has a question, please feel free to ask. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anukriti, maybe first you can take any questions which have come from the chat, and then we'll open to the audiences.
So there is a question which is that is there any benefit of submitting domestic animals?
Not really, because as I said, iNaturalist contribution is more towards documenting what is naturally occurring than either planted or domesticated. So it's important to keep that in mind. And as I was mentioning, avoid three P's. So avoid pets. Domesticated animals are pets, and they do not really add big value. And they also marked as casual records and not sent to GBIF, because there are other uh, other portals or other expertise which can talk more about domesticated animals. So yeah, avoid them.
Okay.
Hello.
So if anyone else has any questions, because I don't see a lot in the
Hello.
chat box.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Hello.
Yeah, now open for anyone to ask questions. So
Hello.
Makarand has a question.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Vijay. This is Makran here. Actually, I have a question. Say, for example.
Oh, you went on mute.
Yeah, there are certain cases when while birding also there are some guidelines to take pictures of you say a newborns or an egg, because to protect them from the invaders.
Right.
So like that, are there any specific guidelines available on the portal to make sure that at all the times while taking photographs, you take care of their life first, and then your passion.
Right. So I think the general rules of birding or butterfly watching or whatever, they definitely apply. You don't have to. I mean, you have to be as least invasive as possible, as least disturbing as possible to the nature around you. that's like a very basic premise that you don't really have to. You have to be really careful about that for sure. I'm not very sure if iNaturalist has posted any specific guidelines as such, but maybe other iNaturalist users uh, uh, may share any links if it's already available. Someone asked
Alright.
for my email address, so I just shared it. It's just my first name dot last name at gmail.com.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions? I see Gulabchand Sahu is unmuted. Do you have anything to ask? Okay. If not, in that case, I would just quickly like to talk about Asian HH Challenge, just in case everyone is aware about that. So in the chat section, can you all please mention if you have already signed up for the ANC Asian HH Challenge? Okay, so I see a lot of yes. Any other questions you might have related to ANC, or do you want me to give a quick brief about the Asian Asia Challenge? Please mention in the chat section if you have any questions related to that, or if you want me to talk about that quickly.
Yeah, actually, I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know, most of my colleagues signed up for this, but then they got a bit scared with that. You have to tick whether you are free, you are accepting to give all your personal informations to the United States. So that includes email ID, your credit card details, and stuff like that. So many of them deregistered this after seeing this. So is there any concerns regarding that?
Vijay, do you want to take that question? While we sign up on iNaturalist, I think they are asking for a couple of consent. So this question is coming from there.
No, I don't remember credit card. I mean, email is required because that's how iNaturalist is going to contact you. But I
Email
don't
is
think,
required, but
yeah.
No, see.
learn more, in the learn more session, it is given that even the credit card details will be used like that. Something we read about it in the learn more session.
Yeah, I think this is
Okay,
about,
so
for those who want to donate to iNaturalist. Otherwise, this is anyways a free platform. You don't even need to provide your credit card details there.
So yeah, just to give a little background on that, and actually, as it's a free and open access platform to keep it running. So like imagine there are millions of images being posted and then subsequently hosted by iNaturalist. So iNaturalist has been uh, getting funds from different organizations, but at one point they decided we also need to crowdsource. So there are a lot of members who think and who pay like monthly a small kind of donation, or once in a year, once in a while, people donate to iNaturalist just to appreciate that all this good work is happening and they should keep it running. So for that, but otherwise you don't have to provide your credit card at all, and you are just fine. One contact information you need to provide, because otherwise how will iNaturalist contact you? So providing email is should be all right. If you are really thinking I don't want to provide my personal email, you can always create another email and provide that. Like if you are worried that you are using the same email for your banks or other things, so that's it. But otherwise, that email is also used in case you lose your password. That's where they are going to send you your recovery password and things like that, which is routine for every uh, data portal.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Ram, I think there is a question that maybe you can take. So someone is asking, what is the aftermath for the ANC, the planned aftermath?
What do we do after the ANC? Is it the question?
Yes, like once the bioblitz is done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so basically, maybe I can just give a very quick introduction to ANC, like just in case someone wants to hear from us, or like while hearing about that, if you get any questions, you can ask. So I'll quickly share my screen and I'll just go through, or like walk you through the website, nothing else. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so as you can see here, that on the website you will be able to find the link to sign up on the very top, and also you can see that ANC starts in 2 days. So you can read about the two phases of Asian AC Challenge. So the first one is the observation phase, which will start on 18th and will go until 21st, and then we have the identification phase, which will happen from between 22nd and 27th. Just 1 second. So basically, any observations which you are taking between these dates, between 18 and 21st, can be uploaded and identified till 27th. Like you don't have to necessarily upload them before 27th, like before the 21st itself. So these are the two phases, like I think the first and most important information for everyone. After that, the second information is like, in terms of how do you register. There are two things to keep in mind mainly. The first one is that there is a project on iNaturalist where all the information will be collected and shown. So I can also show you the project as well. So any observation which is being done within Asia in those 4 days will automatically be counted for ANC. So if you don't join the project, if you don't sign up for, on the website, then also your contributions will be counted. So that is the first part. But still, if you have joined the project and if you have signed up on the website, then we will be able to know more about the demographic of, our audience, and we'll be able to know more about you, and we'll also be able to appreciate your efforts by providing you certificate, and like anything else which we need to know. For example, before providing the certificate, we also need to verify the observations from everyone. So this is the iNaturalist project, the link for which has already been shared on the chat section, and once you join on the on the WhatsApp group, you'll see this link again, and this link is also provided on the website. So you'll be able to see that all the Texa and anywhere in Asia will be considered for this project. All the users from anywhere will be accepted here. The only thing is that in the quality grade, the research grade and needs ID, these are the two grades which will be accepted here. The casuals will not be accepted, which means that any observation which is either casual or captivated, like any wild animal, or like flora, fauna, fungi, which comes from the casual or cultivated side, will not be counted here. The dates are again between 18th and 21st. So this challenge begins in next 1 day, and here you will be able to see the link of the website. So I can also quickly show you the website. I hope you can see the website now on the screen. So here you can see that there are two phases, as I was talking about them. And then these are the key goals of ANC. So, like coming back to the question about what do we do after the ANC, or what's the aftermath, you see that our specific goals are related to filling the data gaps there. So we want to, of course, have more participation, and we want to have a quality observations there. So currently, various portions on the iNaturalist, various portions in Asia are underrepresented on the iNaturalist, and you will find a very less number of observations coming from there. You would have also seen in the map which was shown by Vijay Barve, where the grids were shown, and few of the grids have very, like a very light color, because very less number of observations are coming from there. So our plan is actually to focus more on those places, and also on the species which have been observed less. So we'll recommend you all to focus on those species. For example, if a few types of butterflies and dragonflies are being observed a lot in your area, in your city, or in your region, wherever you are, also see which are the other species which are available but are not observed much, and you can focus more on them. And you can also, if possible, go out to the remote areas where the observations are coming less, find some safe place, and you can do your observations from there. And after the NC is over, we'll definitely come up with a report about how the observations are coming from these places, and then we'll be able to focus more on, like the further areas. And maybe in the coming years, we'll be able to provide more information about, like talking to you specifically about the species and the areas which need more focus. So that is the idea what we want to do before, after ANC, maybe we can also, like come up with a research paper after after 2 or 3 years of ANC observations, once we have like some good quality observations coming from here. Then, as you see, there are two ways in which you can participate now, as an observer and as an identifier. You can sign up for both of them or for either of them, depending on like your interest. We'll have another session on identifications. How do you identify? If you have never done identifications earlier but you are interested, you can join that session. That will happen on the first day of identification phase, which is on 22nd of October. We'll provide you more information about that. And you need not to be, like an expert in certain specific taxa, or like certain specific groups to be an identifier here. uh, Unfortunately, few of the observations which also comes on iNaturalist are, like do not have any identification when they come here. So even if you are able to just provide, okay, this is a plant, or this is an animal, or this is a, like, let's say, a mushroom, or this is a dragonfly, that is also one good way of helping the identification process. And then someone who is specifically looking into dragonflies will be able to, like, identify that. But until the observation is, like, still just stuck in the unidentified, or without any identification mentioned there, like, it might take a lot of time before it is being identified. So that is one way. There are a couple of FAQs. We also put out some resources here. This is a tutorial which will tell you, like, you can just watch about a few things. How do you identify, and, like, how do you upload your observations? You can watch these videos at your own convenience. And there is also a Biodiversity Explorer Kit by WWF India, where you can get some really good tips about how do you explore biodiversity, and, specifically about different types of groups of flora and fauna. How do you like, go out and identify them, and, like, collect details about them. So definitely check out about them. ANC is hosted by CitizenScience.Asia, and this is the information about the project team who is working on that. And then you can also see the supporting organizations which are, supporting the challenge. And then here you will be able to see the link of all the social media platforms where we are present. So I request all of you to please go and sign up on the website, so that we know about you. And this is the sign up page. You'll have to fill up a Google form and provide some basic informations. And remember, we need your iNaturalist profile link to sign up here. So make sure that you have uploaded, you have created an account on iNaturalist, and you'll be able to provide that link here. On this page, you will also find a good video about why you should be, like, why should you also join as an identifier, and, like, 7 reasons to contribute to iNaturalist as an identifier. I found it really cool. So check that out as well. So with that, I'll stop sharing my screen and take any further questions if anyone has. Okay, so I think we already have the links in the chat section here. If you are not joined the project, if you are not joined the WhatsApp group, you can join them now. And anyways, after you register, we'll have like, we'll send you more details, maybe by end of the day tomorrow. Sorry, yeah, by end of the day tomorrow, before the session, before the event begins. So with that, I think we can now close the session. Any last minute questions from anyone before we close? Okay, I think in that case, Anukriti, maybe we can go ahead and formally close the session.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It was great to see, such participation from all across Asia. And thank you so much, Dr. Vijay, for your extremely informative session. There was a lot that all of us have learned, and I'm sure, especially people who are new to iNaturalist, it was really helpful for them. So thank you so much, Ram, of course. So with that, let's conclude today's session, and we look forward to all of your observations and contributions to the Asia Nature Challenge. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.